mic check, man.
That's my inner Kanye.
Kit Kat.
That's my inner Kanye.
Is that like Kanye? Kanye meets. What did Kanye say on Kids See Ghosts? He said Master P meets Rose. Oh, is that Kanye meets what was that?
Michael
guy?
Jackson.
What was the British guy?
Big Shaq. Big Shaq.
So that's Kanye meets Big Shaq on that intro. But it's all good, man. You know what it is. It's a mic check ting. You know what it is, man. It's True North Views podcast, guys. Now, we're recording this from the crib today. So it might sound a little different, but,
sound a little different.
It's all good. It's all good.
Still same content, though.
It's the, the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Because we don't pay for studio time. So
yeah, sometimes they fuck up your studio time.
Sometimes the free sources will double book, and c'est la vie. You got to roll with the punches, man. It is what it is.
Make it work. Come on for you guys.
Got to make it work, man. But we're here. We're out here, man. We're on episode 7. We are recording. It's not the same as 666 777. Shit, man. What was I gonna say? We are recording this one day removed from the Golden State Warriors winning that title, man. I don't think anyone really cares. This may or may not have been the most lackluster finals of all time.
Well, we all saw it coming.
Yeah.
Everyone said if it was the Golden State Cleveland finals, we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, who cares? Let's move on. Nothing really to talk about there, man. But, before anything, we haven't even introduced ourselves. You know what it is, man? Like I said, True North Views podcast, you guys are tuning in. We really appreciate it. We are the kings of dope criticism.
The Pharaohs of Prolific Opinion.
And the emperors of elevated thought, man. And you already know what it is. It's your boy Harris here.
I go by the name JustShola.
And as usual, we are giving you our views from the perspective of a couple of first-generation Canadians on what's buzzing, what people are talking about, and especially this week, what people are not talking enough about.
Legit.
I don't know, man. The last 2 weeks, we've been talking about too much pop and shit.
I was going to say that we haven't.
Too much buzz and shit.
We spent way too much time on stuff that everyone else is talking about.
And we're putting out 2-hour episodes where 60% of it is Kanye and Drake.
People are tired
and
of Kanye. Everyone hears that everywhere.
Yeah. So you know what, man? We wanted to kind of get back to sort of our grassroots, like I said. It's really important for us to have conversations about the things that don't really get talked enough about, the things that kind of go, swept under the media rug, so to speak.
I like that, under the media rug.
But there is a huge thing that I felt, at the very least, that didn't get talked about at all, and that's the Jaden Smith Big Boy interview.
That was a good interview.
Great interview. Didn't get enough shine.
Definitely
he was saying a lot of substance. He had a lot of substance in what he was saying, and
he's only 19 years old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's at his
like
age.
23 by now.
No, he's 19.
Damn. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Changed my whole opinion. I was like, oh, okay. Sorry,
and yet the only thing that people talked about was Will Smith hopping on the Icon remix. First of all,
I've not heard that yet.
I'm
slacking. I need to listen to that.
Remember last week we were saying Jamie Foxx versus Will Smith?
You take that back now?
I ain't taking it back, but
take that back now?
I'm saying that's a legitimate motherfucking
I'm going to throw right after this.
Will Smith is doing his thing. But again, Jaden Smith was on the Big Boy interview. Now, this happened right at the beginning of the month.
Big Boy.
Again, a lot of good content. We don't really want to go over every single thing that he said. But he did say something that's very important. And what he did was he said schools, or he compared schools to prisons, right? So some of the things he said was that, prisons are privately owned, and obviously it's disgusting that they make money off of it.
Sadly.
And they make even more money by having more people in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The more people in the prison, the more money they'll make.
He said a lot of shit. He said, we're preparing for people to go to prison through schools. Too many correlations between public schools and prisons. The fact that you have long hallways, the fact that you have fixed response to authority, the fact that there is a specific time that you can go outside and play, and a specific time that you come back in, and you're notified through what? Through a bell. They're subconsciously getting you to have a fixed response to authority and understanding what it's going to be like when you are in prison. You went to school. Or the fact that you went to school, it has already basically prepared you for what life is going to be like in prison. We've already been trained for what this prison system is going to be for the people that enter it. So again, we wanted to have a really important discussion here. Schools and prisons. Is there a legitimate line of comparison between the two?
I see where he's coming from, but it's like saying it's like saying because something is green and the other thing is green, they're the same. It's the school is meant to it's not meant to control you the way a prison controls you, but they can't just let kids do what they want in a school. Then there's no control. Like you need to set an order in school, and that's the same thing in prison. There has to be an order unless.
So do you think schools need some change?
No, I think
they're fine the way they are.
There's nothing else we can do to change a
Not
school.
necessarily. I mean, we're so think about
how can a school differ from a prison?
Okay, think about it like this. So I'm just touching on your point a little bit. There was a meme somewhere. I don't even remember where I saw it. It was like Instagram way back. Who knows when? It's probably like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And what it did was it was showcasing like the difference of life, right? So it's like, oh, this is a car in the 1910s. This is a car in the 2010s.
Yeah.
It says, this is a I don't know, like I'm trying to think of an example. This is a plane in the 1910s. Yeah. This is a plane now. This is a house in the 1910s. And it's showing you that advancement, right? It's showing you how things have become. This is a computer, obviously not in the 1910s, but this is a computer at its respective time, even the 90s, even the 80s. Think about a supercomputer and think about what a supercomputer looks like today.
I think it's thinking for me.
And then on that same note, it said, here's a school in 1910. And again, I'm just using 1910. Yeah. It's pretty arbitrary. I don't remember what year they actually were using. But they said, here's a school in 1910 and here's a school today, and there's no change, right? So the thing that I'm getting from this is that
it didn't change with the times.
School or when we say school, I'm talking about institutionalized learning, right? So I'm talking about your formal institutionalized learning. I'm not talking about somebody that kind of goes out and acquires their own knowledge.
Oh no, yeah, you mean like school, like in a building, learning.
Your typical teaching you description of what school is, right? So don't try to be slick with the with the friggin' comments, right? But schools haven't adapted; they haven't changed at all. So that alone allows me to say, you know what, I can understand where Jaden Smith is coming from. That alone, right? Now, what does that have to do with anything? I think, again, when you think about the institutionalized system, think about what prison does and think about what school does in terms of perception, right? So prison, when you go to prison and you come out of prison or you're still in prison, unfortunately, you're seen as sort of a second-class citizen, right?
Okay,
and in fact, in the United States, now I don't know if this applies to Canada or not as well, but I just watched the 13th.
I watched that.
I watched it way back. I watched it way back, but I just rewatched it today because I was like, I don't know, just in the mood to watch it today.
It's a good documentary to watch.
And really what it's saying is this. If you're a prisoner, if you're a convicted felon, you are a second-class citizen, right? You are not as good as the quote-unquote free man. In fact, you're not even a free man.
You're not a free man. Once you're in prison, you're not a free man. Once you come out,
you're not a free man either because
you still gotta
what happens when you want to apply for a job? What do they ask you?
That's true. Have you been criminally
right? Have you been convicted?
Yeah, that's
I think they had said I don't remember which state it was, but if you are a convicted felon, you can't vote.
I thought it was only while you're in prison. I could be wrong though.
I could be wrong too. So we don't fact check.
But that's shitty.
But again, this is based on the information that I've obtained from what I've seen and what I've read. But the prison system is setting you up to be a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
It's not setting you up to rehabilitate you. It's setting up to destroy you for life.
Yeah, you
you have to work twice as hard to get half the progress of the quote-unquote free man, right? So it's like when we think about what prison does and we think about what schools do, and again, I'm referring to institutionalized learning here.
Yeah.
Think about, at least, I mean, it's not really happening now in the last 5 years, give or take, but think about the thought of school, the thought of college, the thought of university, and think about how much pressure was sort of placed on you to go to school.
Oh yeah, that's
Either go to school or you don't get a job. Either
much.
go to school or you're not considered smart.
Yeah,
right.
If you're not in school, you're not smart.
Think about the parallels. Now, I'm not going to directly compare prison to school, but I'm going to say there are parallels.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
So, first class citizen, not in prison. Second class citizen has been in prison or still is in prison. Smart person went to school. Dumb person didn't go to school. And that dumb person is treated to some degree, again, drawing parallels, not directly comparing, but that dumb person is treated in some respect like a second-class citizen. You don't give them the same job opportunities. You don't give them the same respect when you speak to them.
You don't.
Right?
Yeah.
You assume that
People
they're
don't,
dumber.
at
You
least.
dumb down your words. You don't use the regular vocabulary that you would typically use. And it's like, I see where Jaden Smith is coming from.
I see his point again, but I just feel like it's the way to control something. Everything is you need organization and everything,
Right.
And using bells, using authority, chain of command. That is how you get everything organized.
But I think what he's saying is
if you work a 9 to
that-
5, you have a boss you report to. You have technically like a factory, a bell. That doesn't mean you're in prison. It means you're working.
Right.
And so I get his comparison. But
do you think he's trying to say maybe school is not progressive the way that prisons are not progressive?
How would you change a school and how would you change a prison?
So what I would do, and I can speak from a school, obviously, because I have never been to prison. But for schooling, I think you have to make schooling more dynamic. Like, think about college versus university alone.
That's in Canada.
Right? And in Canada, I guess in the States, it would be maybe community college.
Yeah, probably community.
I guess community college versus
vocation college?
vocational, I guess, versus a major college,
Like a
so to
4-year
speak.
college.
Or yeah, a 2-year associate's degree versus a bachelor's, a 2-year program versus a 4-year program. Right, that's probably the best way to put it. Think about that. So colleges are usually more dynamic. The 2-year programs are more dynamic. It's more hands-on. There is a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a what's that working element? What's
The hands-on experience. You get more hands-on.
Yeah, co-op. Yeah, there's a co-op component to it, and you're getting real life experience, right? And university is a lot more theoretic. Now, obviously, certain professions are going to require that. Your doctors, your astrophysicists, and that kind of shit.
Scientists.
Anyone in that science field, that math field, even business to some extent. But fuck, what was the point I was making?
I have no idea. I was wondering where you're going with this. Something about 2-year school, college versus university.
Shit.
Difference or better. College gets hands-on, university doesn't.
Oh man, I literally completely fucking forgot where I was going with this.
Either way, I see where he's coming from. There are parallels there, yes, but at the same time, everything needs organization. That's how you keep things organized, by putting people on a time limit, putting people in a higher position than other people, making a chain of command. Because there is no chain of command. Everyone's just going to go, I want to show up to school at 12 o'clock and leave at 2. Who wouldn't want to do that?
See, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, I kind of get where I was coming from again. Where you want to be progressive is, yes, there is a chain of command. Yes, there is authoritative figures that are necessary. There is a principal that's necessary. Your teacher or your professor is absolutely vital and necessary to, function in the class. The same way a manager is necessary to make sure that the workplace operates the way that it needs to. But why are we still doing things in such a way where it's, sit down at the desk, 8 to 3, class 1, class 2, recess, class 3.
How will we change this? There's not exactly. That's the thing. There's no way to change it.
I think there's no obvious way to change it, but I don't think that means that we completely give up on it.
So when your kid is 8 years old, should he not or she not be in school?
No, it should still be in school. Don't get me wrong.
So how do we know when to go to class?
The school system is very
boring,
structured in the same boring. It's structured very similarly to prison with respect to timetables and schedules and
that's how
what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Isn't that what work is too? So work's a prison?
So okay, so let me give you an example. So way back in the day, when we were in elementary school.
Ooh, shout out. Right. Way back.
So back in the day when we were in elementary school, when it's time for recess, you have to go outside. Yeah. Right now, mind you, I was the type of kid that wanted to be outside.
Who didn't want to be outside?
But believe it or not, there were
some
kids
people
that didn't want to. There were kids that liked reading their novels.
Okay, agreed.
There were kids that wanted to play chess or whatever the fuck else they wanted to do.
Yeah, checkers.
But the teachers had said, no, you have to go outside because that bell rang.
Oh yeah, because we're
That
forcing
bell
you to physical
rang.
activity.
Yes and no. There's
Well,
gym
read
every day.
outside, read
You still
outside.
got gym class every day.
Read
or 3
outside
days a
then.
week. But that's my point, right? So as a kid, I want to read. As a kid, I want to play chess. Let's just stick to those
Yeah.
two examples. And because that bell rang, you're telling me that I'm not allowed to be inside and expand my knowledge?
Yeah, because I have authority to do that.
Well, that's exactly why schools are like prisons.
Well, that's like work.
That's
At
not
work when your boss says, "I need this done by this time."
Nah,
You
but
gotta
that's,
work
that's
on it.
different. That's different because there's direct money involved in what you're doing. The only reason why you're there and you're listening is because you're getting a paycheck out of it.
Well, the whole point of you going to school, so eventually you get a paycheck.
Okay,
out
but
of
that's
it.
different.
It's an
That
investment. It's a long-term investment. It's like stocks.
You can't do that.
Yo, work is like
That's stretch.
Work's
That's
like
a stretch.
gambling. Like
That's a stretch.
sports
If you're
and
boss,
school is like sports gambling, and work is like long-term stocks investment. 10 years from now,
that's a terrible
it's like
comparison.
student loans. Student loans is supposed to seem like an investment.
That's a terrible comparison. So the only reason why you're listening to the boss that says, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, that time indicates you need to do this is because you're getting a direct paycheck out of it. Let's not talk indirect. Let's not talk, oh, I'm expanding my brain where 10 years down the road I might get what. Let's not talk that.
Okay, well, in school, you're expanding your knowledge.
Prison, you're not working for a paycheck. School, you're not working for a paycheck.
Directly.
So that's why I want to only use those direct comparisons. Forget the indirect. We can talk abstract all day if we want, right? But let's stick to as direct of a comparison as possible. So again, the schooling example that I gave, it's like I can't stay inside for recess and browse the library because I have to follow this bell that tells me now is the time to go outside. And then when that bell rings again, now this is where it makes a little bit more sense. Of course, I do have to come back inside. You can't have recess all day. But again, the physical parallels are there, like Jaden Smith said. The long hallways, the bell ringing, authoritarian figure, etc. And again, those direct comparisons are there, in my opinion, between schools and prisons. I think there are some parallels. I think there are, but I think that's just life. There's always going to be. So you think it's just kind of you think it's more of a random comparison rather than an actual purpose?
Yeah, I think it's a not like a random. Yeah, I would say random, because he also said it's like school's prepping you for prison. No, it's not. School's prepping you for the real life. In real life, you are going to have to go wake up early and go to work. Let's say you don't go to prison. You got to wake up early. You got to go to work.
Right.
If you work in a factory, for example, a bell signifies start work. You got to get work. You already learned that in school. The bell rang, go to class. When this bell rings again, go for lunch. School, what happened? The bell rang, go for lunch. Does all this happen in prison as well? Yes, but it's just the way life works. It's how we keep ourselves organized. Do we have authority figures? Yes, because not everyone can be a manager.
So what you're kind of saying is like...
It's just life.
You can compare it to some degree, but you can't at the same time because like you said, it's just life.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, there's going to be parallels between two things that may seem unrelated, but then...
Exactly. I feel like it's just life. Like life, you need control, you need organization. That's how it's done.
I'll accept that, but I do still think schools or institutionalized learning, I do think draws some parallels to prison. But like one thing, I'm going to cut you off. Does Jaden Smith have any validity to say any of this?
Wait, wasn't he homeschooled?
That's my question.
So no.
Was he homeschooled? Well, I don't know. We didn't fact check, but at the end of the day,
it's like
he's 19 years old. Mm-hmm. And he's been a star for
since he was like
10 years.
He was born a star. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, he was born a star. I mean, not like Trey Smith. What's Will Smith's other son? Is it Trey?
From another marriage, yes.
Not Trey Smith, but Willow and Jaden definitely are.
Your parents are Will and Jada. Like, yeah, you
Is Jaden Smith even allowed to say this? Is there any substance in what Jaden Smith is saying, or is he just completely unaware because he's never actually lived through it?
I don't say he's unaware. I think he does have a point. He didn't live through it, so I don't really care for what exactly him saying it. But he does have a point. And something you said earlier is, I don't see how it could be changed, but maybe someone else can.
Right.
And I want to see that. He did make a point. Like, I would love to not see prisons look like schools.
I think it's like schools. As long as that open-mindedness is there to be dynamic, right? Like, again, like I think
see a change.
I think Jaden, obviously, him being 19, he's obviously more so thinking about the elementary school, middle school, junior high type of lifestyle.
That's true. In university, you're pretty much a free man. You can go to class and not go to class.
Exactly.
It's up to you.
So that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, do you think this conversation really applies at all to college and university in general? Because that's where I actually think no. I think there's no correlation between the prison system and the college/university system.
And which Jaden Smith, with no offense, would not know about because he didn't go to post-secondary school. No offense, but he didn't go to post-secondary school. He doesn't know what happens there. There's bells. Well, it's not really bells, but you bell yourself, which is what I learned in elementary school, junior high, and high school to do, to go to class at a certain time, leave at a certain time. Yeah, that's not prison, though. It's a free world in university. That's the only reason why I don't give it the same comparison.
Right. Now, I guess for me, it's more so the fact that, like, the teaching methods really haven't changed.
Yeah,
like,
they need to get people more engaged.
Right? Like, the curriculum barely has changed. I mean, up until recently, and I don't know if this is across the board, or I don't know if this is just, maybe it obviously depends on where you are, but in some instances, man, the textbooks are 15 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like, that alone, right? Yeah, so I mean, like, again, the teaching methods haven't changed, right? They haven't evolved, they haven't adapted, old ass books and shit. Like, that's where it gets a little frustrating. And that's where I think changes absolutely need to be done. And I almost think that's where the that's where some of that comparison comes from, is the fact that a lot of the methods are the same. So when we think about prison back at a time where it was purposely, and still is, attacking people of color.
Yeah.
Where you still had guards that were intentionally hurting these people of color. You had a judicial system that intentionally were incriminating and targeting people of color.
Yeah.
The methods didn't change. There was no ability to be dynamic with the methods and adapt to today's society and today's times. And oftentimes, that's what the schooling system is as well, right? So I almost see a little bit more of an indirect comparison, more than a direct comparison when it comes to prisons and schools.
Yeah.
But getting back to Jaden Smith for a little bit, because like you said, he's 19, which I didn't know. I thought he was 23.
He said it in the interview. I was like, wow.
Didn't realize he was 19.
I thought he was older.
How do you view Jaden Smith as a young leader today? Do you think that he has legitimacy to what he's saying? Do you think he's informed? Or is he somebody that's going to just kind of become Kanye, if we want to call it that?
Actions speak louder than words. It's okay to say, yes, prisons are like school, but what are you doing to change this? I could say anything I want. I could say I prefer a Lexus, or Lexus are better than Mercedes. But what am I doing to make a Mercedes better than a Lexus?
Right.
You know? So that's how I feel. I didn't see him do something, get into a protest, talk to someone of
But remember, power. He was like, a few videos came out probably last year where he was talking to crowds and people were saying he's whack for spreading a positive message.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So he is kind of about that action as well. Right. Like, he also said in the interview that he's adamant about not working with people that have negative or misogynistic lyrics in their music. What was the name that he mentioned?
Rich the Kid.
Was it Rich the Kid?
Yeah, he mentioned he had some Rich the Kid and he didn't like it, so then they shot a video to try and counteract.
So you know what I mean? So
the song.
On the surface, it looks like he's living by his message.
Okay. I do agree. That's good. That's a start. He's 19.
That's the thing. It's a start.
19. I don't expect him to change the world.
Remember Pink Polos. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye.
We remember that Kanye.
Yeah, it's a
and
start.
Now it's Kanye, right? So, hey, I don't know,
It's a start. But
it's a start.
I think he can I think he can. He has potential. He's Will Smith's son.
That's true.
He's Jaden Smith. He already has a name for himself. He dropped an album on his own.
Sire's fire.
Yeah, so I think he has the potential to do so. I just hope he doesn't go Kanye's route and go crazy. But if he has all these thoughts at 19, it's good. It's a start. It's good. At least someone's thinking differently. Let's put this into action, Jaden. Hit us up. We'll help you.
Hit us up, Jaden Smith. We'll help you out, man. We'll give you all the info you need, man. Whatever you want. But let's stay on that sort of prison topic, and I'm sure you know where we're going with this.
Yes, everybody knows.
I'm sure everyone knows where we're going with
but
this.
No one's talking about it. It's so surprising. Not a lot of people are talking about this.
Let's delay for a few seconds just to make you guys be like, why don't you just fucking say it? But yeah, like you said, you're right. Not a lot of people are talking about it. I feel like it came and it left.
Yeah, it came for like a day and then it left because Kanye said probably.
And this is what's annoying about these stories is that they come out, but nobody pays attention to the follow-up.
No one does. It's headlines. It's just a headline.
It's crazy.
The headline creates the buzz.
I don't get it. Right? So, again, obviously we're talking about the Kim Kardashian visit to the White House to talk to Mr. Donald Trump.
Mr. President.
Yeah, I can't believe
Donald Trump.
We're saying that, but that's the case. And obviously she went to discuss prison reform. Some people had a problem with this. Some people said it was a good first step. Where do you stand on this?
Here's the thing. I don't mind anyone trying to take a step in the positive and for what's right. Mm-hmm. But whenever the Kardashian Jenner clan do anything, I feel like there's some sort of ulterior motive, including money. That's the only reason why I do not want to rate her for this. Let me see. I just feel Kris Jenner is too much of a manager to let
Jenner's a beast.
Do something like this.
She's
and just be like,
beast, yo. She knows business.
We're just doing this because we want to free. We want less. What was it? Less better prisons for drugs. When people are caught. When people are caught. Where's my mouth? Not true. My mouth is dry.
Wow, are you off Henny, bro? Like what
my
the
mouth
fuck?
Is dry.
Let's reset that for a second. What the fuck are you talking about?
The prison reform. What does Kim know about prison?
She's a spokesperson at that point.
Who's like
right? Like
it's just
why does she have to be a prison expert to talk about it? Why can't she be the spokesperson that is receiving information, or even better, that has an additional person in the room with her? We don't know exactly what happened.
But that's why I appreciate what she's doing. But it's the Kardashian clan just has too much of a history of trying to do everything for money for me to want to appreciate this until let me see 6 months from now what's happening. Where this goes. So is she actually still doing this, or was she just doing this because she wanted
basically you don't trust Kris Jenner?
Pretty much at this point.
That's what it is. It's not the Kardashians and the Jenners. It's Kris Jenner because she manages all of them.
Yeah, that's why I call them. That's why I put them together. She manages all of them. But
in terms of Kim specifically, now I'm not a Kim stan at all, but I feel like Kim gets a lot of negative press for reasons that she shouldn't be getting negative press for. I feel like people are still stuck in what year was it? 2004? When did that fucking tape come out?
2006. I watch that every day.
This guy, wow, this guy knew the year way too fast. But I feel like people still view Kim Kardashian as if she's in 2006. Well, like a lot of people say, okay, but what does Kim do? What has
she done since then?
Are you kidding me?
She runs a business.
She runs a ton of businesses. She employs a ton of people. She donates to a ton of charities.
What does that?
She does a ton of community events.
How does that affect prison reform?
Okay, but I'm not talking prison reform.
That's why
I'm talking in general.
If she went and was like, I'm giving
hold on.
These many people, I'm like, yeah, do your shit, Kim.
No. Let me get this off. So Kim does a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize how much stuff that family does. And again, the motive we may or may not question, but let's not acknowledge the fact that, let's make sure we do acknowledge the fact that she actually does things and she's not just famous for no reason anymore. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. Secondly, why does she have to be, I still ask that question. Why does she have to be an expert in prison reform.
Why does Donald Trump need to have politics experience to be a president?
That's different.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. Because
if you're talking to someone...
So because I'm not a product of the prison system and I'm not fully aware of it, I'm not allowed to have a conversation to try to start something?
Does your math teacher teach math if they don't know anything about math? If they barely know math?
That's a teacher, though. You're referring to the expert. You're referring to
if you're talking to the president, you should be an expert.
You're referring to the person on the other side of the meeting. I'm talking about having the meeting. If you're going to sit down with your math professor and ask yourself to get a lesson or to ask questions, or let me say that example again. If I am in university, as an example, and I email my math professor, I don't even know what courses, but whatever. Let's keep it as general as possible. I email my math professor, hey, I want to have a conversation with you about whatever. Do I have to go into that meeting being fully informed, or am I there to also learn?
Yeah, but you have to know what you want to learn.
But we also don't know what Kim knows. We don't know what Kim doesn't know because we don't see her publicly campaigning for prison reform. It somehow means she has a 0% likelihood of knowing about it.
Okay, maybe she does know about it, but...
Right? We don't know. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that the negative press that Kim is receiving for this is based on the fact that people are assuming they know. Now, again, I'm not sitting here and I'm saying Kim's an expert, she knows, she this, she that. I just think there's a power in saying we don't know. We don't know how informed Kim is.
That's a good point.
We don't know how passionate Kim is about prison reform.
We don't know.
We don't know the conversation she had with Trump.
I still rather not her.
Right?
I feel like there's other people that...
Why? But Kim is a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't care about my celebrities doing everything. It's like when people say, what does celebrity have to think about this event? I don't care about celebrities.
Okay,
the people that... the politician, the guy that's now in politics, who spent 10 years in prison, maximum security prison, who knows the system, let him talk to Donald Trump.
So if you have a charity and Kim Kardashian says, I want to donate,
I'm not going to say no.
That's my point.
But this is not charity.
But that's exactly my point.
You're going to talk to the president
point is that
the prison system.
Okay, but let me further that example. If you have a charity, let's kind of tie everything into prison reform. If you have a charity that is about prison reform, and I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but that's okay. You have a charity, it's about prison reform, and Kim Kardashian says, hey, I want to give you $1 million to your charity, even though I know nothing about your charity as a whole, and I know nothing about prison reform. Are you accepting that $1 million?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's $1 million.
But why? Because it's going to help your charity to push some sort of agenda.
Now, if she came and says, I want to be a spokesperson for your charity, but I'm not going to talk to you guys at all. I'm just going to go talk to the president on my own. I'll be like, no.
I'm still saying yes. And here's why I'm saying yes.
If she said, let's talk,
but let me tell you why I'm saying yes. Because if she says, I want to be the spokesperson for your business or for your charity, sorry, not your business. I want to be the spokesperson for your charity about prison reform. I would say absolutely, because she has a presence. Yeah. She has a following. She has a following. Huge. Right? She has influence, whether we want to admit it or not. At the end of the day, Donald Trump won the election. Yeah, at the end of the day, Ronald Reagan won the election way back when. So we know Arnold Schwarzenegger won the election in California. So we know that star power means something in the public eye. So if I now have star power by my side in the form of Kim Kardashian as my spokesperson, I'm going to make sure to my best ability that she is as informed or as equipped with knowledge as possible.
I see what you're saying. So you know what? Actually,
that's my point, right?
I take back what I said. If she was informed on the topic, well informed on the topic, then good on her. If she wasn't, then...
That's what it comes down to.
So, we don't know.
Like you said, I mean, that's where the if factor comes, right?
If she was informed, if she knows what she's talking about...
I don't know, like that, and that's what it comes down to. But like, did you see the shit that fucking Trump said afterward?
Approval went up. Black people. No, it didn't. You think we care about what Kim has to tell you about?
He's speaking facts. Again, I don't know the timing of it. I don't know if it has to do with Kanye and Kim. But there was a Reuters, I think it was a Routers, whatever the fuck you pronounce it as, report that said that his approval rating amongst black people had gone up something from like 10% up to 20%, something like
It's
that.
because Kanye dropped an album. It had nothing to do with him.
Oh my God.
Do you think it's because of the visits?
Yes.
All he did was release one grandma.
I think that.
Let's be honest.
I think unfortunately we're in a society, and it happens on both sides, where we don't really think for ourselves.
We don't. Not
and we're really...
Social media tells us how to think.
Social media does tell... And I'm saying us as a society. Yeah. I'm not saying us two specifically.
I hope you understood that.
I hope you guys have...
We're trying to be smart, guys.
Understood that by now. But I'm not going to say it's Kanye's fault, because I'm not going to use that word fault, because people should be able to think on their own. Oh, but I am going to say I do believe Kanye's TMZ interview, or not even his TMZ interview, but what was highlighted from his TMZ interview.
Slavery is a choice.
Is what brought up the rating. Because Kanye said a lot of other things in that interview.
He did.
He said a lot of things of substance. He said a lot of things that made sense.
But those are not headline grabbing.
But they weren't, not even that they weren't headlining. They weren't shocking enough.
Yeah, it's a headline grab. Right? Like it won't grab your attention.
It would still grab my attention if Kanye says Scientology. What did he say? I don't even remember what he said about it. But
yeah, but do you know? Remember he said though, slavery was a choice.
There you go.
That's way more. Woo! Kanye
so I absolutely do you think this actually means something for Trump? Do you think this approval rating for Trump? Like, let's look in the future. 2 years from now. 2020, right?
2020.
Yeah.
Or 2020.
I only remember the elections because of Kanye's lyrics, which is fucking crazy.
2020.
I'm gonna run the whole election. But in 2020, Donald Trump runs again.
Yep.
Do more or less black people vote for him?
Less.
Unfortunately, I think it's more.
You think it's going to be more? I don't think so.
Because I think there's a lot of foul-minded people, bro.
Well, when Kanye is saying I'm going to vote for him, people are going to vote for him. Unfortunately, like you said, we being society, follow social media. Everyone, like, people, like, I don't know how to feel about this. Go on social media. Everyone hates it. Like, oh, I fucking hate it. Yep. Or everyone likes it. Oh, it's the best thing ever.
It's like we say, right? Like, Six Buzz, Brampton takes a L. Or on World Buzz. Star, Russ takes a L. Or whatever, right? Like, it's just so easy to, like, conform. Even the fuck J. Cole chants.
Everyone wants to be in the majority. Let's put it that way. Everyone wants to be in the majority.
Right? So, yeah, again, with that approval rating stuff, Trump was referring to a poll. He said his rating went up from 11% up to 22% in a week.
That's huge.
That's fucking huge. And that is increase. As a result, I believe, of the Kanye stuff. But again, I'm not going to say it's his fault.
So what happens after? Like, is this just this one grandma that gets released? How about the other 20,000 people?
Here's the thing, right? So here's the thing. The headlines read, Kim Kardashian meets with Donald Trump to discuss prison reform.
Yes.
What does prison reform mean? Prison reform is not referring to, can we get that lady out of jail?
It's not.
And thank God she did. Mm-hmm. Or prison, I should say, not jail. Can we get that lady out of prison? And again, thank God she did. However, reform is, how do we change the inputs so that thousands of lives that were currently affected are changed for the better? And moving forward, thousands and millions of lives moving forward won't be impacted by the current prison system and prison laws, rules, etc. I don't think Kim Kardashian has the capacity to have that discussion.
Definitely, probably, most likely not.
And I think that's where the general public is confused. A lot of people are annoyed at the fact that she spoke with Trump. Why are you annoyed with that she's starting something?
That's true.
Like, it's more so to say, hey, Kim, I don't think you're the one to discuss prison reform.
But
now, by all means, have a discussion about what happened with this lady and, one example here at a time and one example there at a time. But I don't think you're the person to have this conversation as a mass effect. Yeah. And I think that's what
that's where everyone got all up in arms about, just why Kim? Like, why Kim? But when you explain it to me, who has more influence than Kim? Mm-hmm. Well, very few people do.
So now, do you think Donald Trump did this, referring back to that poll? Do you think Donald Trump did this simply because it is storyline? It's, hey, Kim, like, let's think about it from Trump's perspective. High profile celebrity is coming to me to free one black person,
Hell yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah. He'll be dumb not to.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because now it helps Kardashian's relationship with Trump, which simultaneously helps Kanye's relationship with Trump.
Yes.
And we know that amongst the KKW brand, the Yeezy brand, Kim as a brand, Kanye as a brand, there's a lot of influence on not necessarily black people, but urban people, and a lot of urban people are black. Right? So, again, it's not like, hey, it's not a direct correlation to black people, but again, it is a correlation to urban people. Right? And then so is this just Trump trickery?
Yes, I think when the meeting got proposed, I'm assuming they went to him. He said yes. His advisor said yes in a heartbeat. There's no negative can come from this. So Trump was like, yeah, why not? It makes me look good. It makes them look good. It makes the country look good. Why not? It's easy. That's why his approval rating went up, because it made everyone look good. It made Kim look good. It made Kanye look good. It made Trump look good. It made the country look good.
Strategic marketing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's really all it comes down to.
And Kanye's pushing his album.
Did you see the Van? I was gonna say Van Lathan for a second. I was like, shout out to Van Lathan. Did you see the Van Jones interview? So Kim Kardashian was on CNN. She spoke with Van Jones.
Kim Kardashian on CNN.
Shout out to Van Jones, man. I love that guy. He's
black.
Yeah, of course, man.
He sounds like a black name.
Van Jones, man. He's one of the more prominent names, representing sort of what's going on in the world from a political standpoint. Yeah, like
Angela Rye.
Like Angela Rye. He's the male Angela Rye. Shout out to cousin Angela.
Cousin Angela.
Yeah, so she spoke with Van Jones. She was responding to people who said that Trump used her as a political pawn in securing this or in letting this person free, I should say. The lady's name was Alice Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to her.
So again, she spoke with Van Jones, and in the interview, basically what she had said was that she's like, oh, I think Kanye has already given him as in Trump legitimacy, right? So basically Van Jones was saying, like, do you feel like you are legitimizing Trump and what he represents and his brand, for lack of a better word? And she was just like, well, I feel like Kanye has already done that.
So is
she dry snitching? Like, what do you think about that?
It's her way of saying yes without saying yes, if that makes sense. She's saying yes, Kanye already did it, so I'm just continuing.
Pretty much. So she said Kanye opens up the doors. Kanye is making it okay, and I'm just going to capitalize on it.
Pretty much. Yes, I think that's what she's saying. Don't blame me for this. If this does go wrong, it's all Kanye's fault at the end of the day.
Pretty much. Oh yeah,
Kanye can deal with it.
I just took it in. She threw him under the bus.
Yes. Yeah. She
definitely
said, "Oh yeah, Kanye opened the door. I just walked through it."
I want to play the audio. For everyone. This is straight off of my phone, guys. So bear with me. Shit, man. We ain't got that budget yet.
Here's this shit, dog. He felt her heart, and he explained
6 months. Oh my god. I got the wrong fucking video loaded.
6 months.
Shout out to 6 months.
Getting a shout out randomly too. That's
what the fuck?
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, why is 6 months in the CNN video?
Yo, I'm watching this downtown shit right now. Motherfuckers is riding their bikes naked.
Naked? What?
Downtown
Who does
Toronto.
That?
Yo,
shout out to Toronto. You guys are like on sometimes. Lower the price of houses and stop riding naked downtown.
Yo, let's stay let's go back though. I want to play this Kim audio.
I think just he felt her heart, and he explained that to me, and I was just, when he said he has the papers in front of him and he's signing it, I just my heart was so full.
I'm just going to throw them at you. You tell me who's right and who's wrong. Trump is using you as a political pawn. So now you're sort of, you've endorsed him in a way. You're kind of giving him legitimacy. You might be in a campaign video. He used you.
I think Kanye's already given him legitimacy. So I don't, in that way. So I was working on this before. So I don't, I don't think I would be used, and at the end of the day, he heard me out. We got the job done. So I don't think, what could he really use me for? she's there.
She got stomped on that question.
She was stuck.
She was not ready for that. She got used. She said, and this is what I'm saying. She said, "We got the person out." It seems like a one-time thing. That line right there,
and that's my
sound
point.
like a one-time thing, and that's what irks me about this whole thing. It's like, this is what you do for popularity. You do something once.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the part that irked me, if we're going to talk specifically about that response, was, "Oh, I got her out. Oh, look, I did my job." Is the way she views it. Not necessarily the work is done.
That's what she said. She said, my work is done.
Oh, did she say that?
She said my work is done. And that's what that's what
So to me, it's like, if you're going in there to discuss prison reform, understand what prison reform is. Not just, are we freeing one person? It's, are we discussing prison reform? And again, that's where I say Kim Kardashian is not the one to discuss reform.
Agreed.
But this is overall a good thing. I think, again, the lady is free. It gets the ball rolling. It gets a discussion happening.
Look, hopefully. We're talking about it.
But at the end of the day, man, like you said, you have your skepticism because Kris Jenner's a beast.
But she's a
we're gonna find out what happens. This is gonna be in 3 to 6 months. This is gonna be on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Oh hell yeah! It's gonna be a big storyline for them.
What's gonna tell me a lot now? I've watched Keeping Up. I've seen it. I've seen
a few episodes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good TV, man. Listen, Ryan Seacrest makes good TV. Don't hate.
It has its moments of entertainment.
Don't hate.
It has its moments.
But what will tell me a lot is how they film it. If Trump is all in it, then that tells me it's all fixed.
I see what you're saying.
Right? Like if it's more of a like view. Right? So like I'm trying to I can't think of an example from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but if it's like Trump is there, Trump has some outro or not outro,
but
like
it's
some confession room type of
When Kanye is on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it's such a big more people watch those episodes because Kanye's in it. They want to see Kanye.
But like he's in it. It's not just it's a passive shot of Kanye or it's like an official news article or news headline of Kanye.
Dinner with them.
It's him doing the testimonials like back in the real world type of days where they're talking. You know what I mean? Like if Trump is doing that to any extent on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, then I completely take back everything I said about Kim Kardashian.
We just gotta wait and see.
Gotta wait and see.
But I guess the Kardashian Jenner clan, it's hard for me to see them do anything without money, without a dollar sign in front of it.
Pretty much. But hey, Kris Jenner's a beast. Let's get off of this shit, man. Not even speaking of Kanye. Before that, we forgot to salute some of our official, unofficial friends.
I was gonna say that. I thought we were just gonna keep that to the end. I was like, we're gonna keep it to the end.
We're doing it in the middle. Fuck it. So unofficial friends, guys, if you don't know, this is our little segment here where we start to flex our muscle a bit. We start to stunt on them.
Flexing on these niggas. I be flexing. Flexing on these niggas. If you don't know that song, you're too young. You don't know Meek Mill then. You don't know why we thought Meek Mill might have had a shot against Drake.
Don't kill me, man. But it's the unofficial friends club, man. So these are people that we interact with. We love to interact with other podcasters. We love to interact with other media entities, media presences. Really just anything to spread the word, have a good discussion, and sometimes some prominent names, they hit us back. They do the retweet, they like the tweet, they like the Instagram post.
I'm dancing by the way.
They comment, they DM, whatever it may be. And we just want to highlight some of them, man, because we really appreciate them rocking it with us, and we really appreciate them. They're indirectly making our following bigger.
Yeah, they keep us going.
And we try to really have substance to what the fuck we're doing. So it's not just, it means a lot. It means something, right? So we have 3 people to add to this unofficial friends list. Now, before we get to that, off the top of your head, let's remind some of the names that are on this list of ours. Joe Budden's on there. Miko Grimes is on there. Michael Rappaport. Marlon Palmer.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden, we said that already. The Breakfast Club is on there.
Breakfast Club, yes. I'm going to say all of them. Charlemagne, Jagad, Angela
Not yet.
DJ Envy.
Not yet, but the Breakfast Club as a whole.
The intern that was controlling their...
Shout out to the intern that was controlling that social media account at the time. Who else is on that list, man?
I can't remember.
few other names. Like I said,
a few podcasts too are up there.
Yeah.
We'll get a list next.
We'll get a list. Absolutely.
Next episode, we'll actually put a list from.
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
From beginning, from episode 1 to 8.
We promise episode 8 will have a list of everyone that has been an unofficial friend at this point.
Yes.
Shout out to all of them. But again, we're adding 3 names. Woo! And these are 3 names in the podcasting world.
Big ups.
Big ups to all of them. The first name is Maul. Maul is from the Joe Budden Podcast. Now, shout out to him. He actually, his brother is Kareem Biggs.
Who's Kareem Biggs?
That's the whole, think about Rockefeller. Back when there's 3 people that ran Rockefeller, right? Rockefeller. There's Dame Dash, there's Jay-Z, there's Kareem Biggs.
Really? That's Maul's brother?
That's Maul's brother.
Damn.
So...
That's good.
Say less.
Yo, shout out to Maul, man. Shout out to Maul.
So shout out to Maul, man. And shout out to him because he doesn't ride that wave. He doesn't be like, yeah, my brother's Kareem Biggs. He just does his own thing.
I would have been out here like, yo, yeah, that's my bro.
Real shit.
Breaking me free shit.
But yeah, man, he was on
Miko Vibes?
Yeah, he was on Miko's podcast, and he mentioned that the fucking Cavs need to play Rodney Hood more. And this was before Rodney Hood started playing the last 2 games. No, I'm saying he said it after game 2.
Yeah. I mean, like he stopped because they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But yeah, so we tweeted that, Rodney Hood been need to play more. Like he should have been that person that gets minutes.
He was
like
getting minutes. He was playing.
My man's 6'9". He can put a body on KD. 6'8" at the very least.
I thought he was like 6'6".
No, he's like 6'8", 6'9", that type of thing. NBA heights lie all the time.
Oh, of course, he's only 6'1".
But again, shout out to Maul, man. He responded to us, so we appreciate that. And again, that's indirectly making our following bigger.
Yeah, because more people saw that. It gave us impressions on Twitter.
Exactly. Another huge unofficial friend already. I think goes back to about episode 2 or 3. Is Savon and the Need to Know podcast.
Solid podcast. Solid podcast.
Love that podcast. And like we always say, man, that podcast is inspiration as to how we operate our craft. They really like to go in on the things that people aren't talking about enough. Hence the name, You Need to Know This Stuff, Need to Know Podcast. Yeah. And we really operate off of the same lines, man. And it's nice to see us, although his growth is way ahead. They're on episode 10. We're on episode 7. So it's nice to kind of see
we're right behind them.
That growth on a cumulative basis as a community, man. So shout out to Savon one more time, but shout out to 2 new unofficial friends, and they are the 2 other hosts of the Need to Know podcast. It's Alex. His Instagram is Ball Till We Fall.
Hey, ball is life.
And shout out to Steph. She is Steph Styles on Instagram. Now that's spelled kind of weird, Steph. That's Steph STEPH STYUHLS.
Up until you said it, I had no idea. I was going to say Steph Styles.
I
was going to say that.
You have to say it with swag. That's all. Styles.
When you said Styles, I was like,
Steph Styles.
I can see that.
But shout out to both of them, man. Alex and Steph, they're so dope on the podcast, man. Like I can't I can't even put it in words. That's probably a top 3 podcast of mine right now. Like I think Joe Budden's number 1 for me. Savon might be number 2, and then Brilliant Idiots I would say is number 3 right now for me. But yeah, shout out to them, man. You guys need to really check out that Need to Know podcast. They're really starting to fuck with us. Hopefully we appear on their show one day.
I get it.
And let's keep it going, man. Let's keep that energy going. Let's keep that love going. Unofficial friends, get it. We appreciate you guys, man. But
keep listening.
Keep listening. That's it. That's all we can ask for. But
let's go to music potpourri.
Favorite segment, music potpourri, man. Still learning how to pronounce the word, but it is what it is. Where do you want to start music wise?
Let's start with Kids See Ghosts.
Kids See Ghosts. Okay,
we're only spending max 5 minutes on this.
Max 5 minutes. We're spending talking about literally max 5 minutes because the last 2 weeks we've spent an hour on Kanye albums.
And I'm done. Fucking tired of talking. I love Kanye, and I can spend an hour talking about Kanye.
I'm done talking about Kanye.
I don't want to talk about Kanye
But
anymore.
I have a quick question, and I thought about this. First of all, what did you think about Kids See Ghosts?
Hot album. Love it. I love Cudi. Cudi's one of my favorite artists. He was the first person I saw in concert ever. 2009, I think I saw him in Toronto.
First concert ever?
Man on the Moon 2. Yeah, I think it was my first concert. I was like 17.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. 09. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, that makes sense. Go ahead.
So first concert ever. I love Man on the Moon. I love Cudi. I love Kanye. Both of them together. Amazing work of art. How about you? Did you like it?
I felt okay about it.
Oh, fuck him. Do you like it more than Kanye's album?
No.
No.
This is the album that I was probably the most disappointed by.
Really?
Of the three so far. Because let's go back. So Pusha was a smash.
Flames.
That was a home run. Kanye's album was a solid double.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, if Kanye lived up to Kanye's track record, it's an automatic home run. It's out of the park. It's in the fucking river.
Agreed.
Right?
It wasn't a work of art.
But it was still good enough to get it, to be an extra base hit. Right?
Agreed.
It's still a double.
I agree.
Right? Kids See Ghosts,
I liked it.
I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. But is it... Okay. I guess to me it's like this. The scale that I ask myself is Kanye elevating that person's art? Now, Pusha is debatable because Skateboard P, Pharrell, is right there with Kanye production-wise. I don't care what anyone says.
They have different type of styles.
Different styles, but
he's a good producer.
Pedigree is right there.
Definitely.
But I will still say Kanye elevated Pusha T to another level.
Oh, yeah, because he gave Pusha the type of beats Pusha needed this whole
Exactly.
time. Not saying Pharrell couldn't do it, but these beats suited Pusha's style so much more than Pharrell was doing.
Right? No, not so much more. Like,
not so much more, but
let's not forget the catalog. But in 2018, as it currently stands, Pusha T needed those Kanye beats.
Yes.
To have the type of effect that he had.
Agreed.
Otherwise,
agreed.
His album, and this is zero disrespect, but his album probably would have been talked about as much as Black Thought's album.
I see.
As an example.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, Kanye, he's not going to elevate himself, especially when we compare it to his other body of work. Mm-hmm. And then with the Cudi stuff, I asked myself, Cudi's shit was better than this.
Oh, hell.
Before Kanye.
This was not Cudi's, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, Cudi, love
that's
Cudi.
The scale that the same way we hold Kanye to Kanye's scale, let's hold Kid Cudi to Kid Cudi's scale.
I see what you're saying.
And that's what tells me that this album isn't amazing. Now, again, it sounds good. There are a few songs that I really do like.
Yeah, there's some songs
the cover art is super dope.
I really want a poster of that.
Yo, this cover art is crazy. Straight the fuck up.
What's your favorite song from the album?
Oh, it's free. It's fire. I was gonna say free, but it's not.
I think mine's
fire. Fire is the most fire track on the album.
I love Reborn. I don't know. I think it's just because of Cudi's presence. Cudi was really down on that song. But I fucking love Reborn.
So how? Like, what would you say Kanye is so far? Is he 1 of 3, 2 of 3, or 3 for 3? Is he Steph Curry from deep?
He's 2 for 3. To be honest, like, after what you said,
2 for 3. Okay, so which one's hit and which one doesn't hit?
His album hit.
Ye hits.
Pusha's hit.
Pusha's hits for sure.
This, it's right there.
Borderline
but it's missing. Hit. I don't know. I think it's just too much Kanye. That's why. I feel like if this came out in August, we would have been like, yes, this is fire. But we've got two.
So this is what we were afraid of.
Like saturating the market.
He's gonna saturate it, and this is why I didn't want Tiana Taylor's album to come out last.
Because by the time we're tired of good music.
Because that's the one. That is the one I'm most excited for. Now I don't know. I don't know if I'm on record saying that because I feel like I've said that for Tiana, Pusha, and Cudi at this point. Which one is it? I'm sticking to it. Tiana Taylor. That's the one I'm most excited about, regardless of what I've said on previous episodes. But I don't want to be at a point where it's like.
It's too much.
It's too much. And not to say we can't still enjoy it, but to a point where I'm saying to myself, this album's not that amazing.
Mm-hmm, right? That's how I feel about this album. I think this album is good. I like this album. I loved the first time I heard it, I was like, yes. Mm-hmm. I listened to it again. But I couldn't listen to it. I stopped listening. I started listening to
How many times you listened to it?
Over 3 times.
3 times? From
beginning to end.
I've listened twice. And the second time was a squeeze. It was like, I'm going to give it one more try. So it's almost like I didn't wanna.
Because Kanye has those Kanye beats.
Exactly.
And that's all we've been hearing for the last 3 weeks.
Pusha, I honestly played 8 or 9 times in a row right at the beginning, at least. I'm not like Pusha was the only music I was listening to for like a 4-hour block of time.
Let me tell
20-minute album, you do the math.
Let me tell you why. Because we hadn't heard from Pusha in a while.
Yes.
We hadn't heard from Kanye in a while.
Yes. And the first track came out with bars and beat.
Yes. Exactly. So
if
we were
know,
like,
you know. And with the crazy ass fucking beat on that, we were amped.
Let me put it this way: if Kids See Fire came out same time, you would have Kids See Ghost. You would have played it 8 or 9 times as well.
And that's what I'm wondering.
That's the thing. It's just so much for us to take in. Like, yeah, it's only 7 songs, but I still want to take in Kanye's album. I'm not done taking it in yet.
Yeah.
And I got taken. Yeah.
Now I got to take in Cudi.
Nas is coming out. When will I have time for that?
That's true. But Nas, no, I feel like Nas is going to be more on the lines of Pusha. I feel like that's just going to come out heat, fire.
Those are like lyricists.
Exactly.
They come with bars.
Lyricists, I'm not worried about the lyricists. It's the creatives I'm worried about. It's the Kanye and the Cudi that I'm a little bit more worried about, where I feel like those weren't enough being 7 tracks. Mm-hmm. Is 7 tracks still the blueprint, or is it only a certain type of artist that can work on that?
A certain type of artist. You know, I forgot what podcast I was listening to or what radio show I was listening to, but the guy did say it. There's 2 types. Kanye did the opposite of what the Migos did.
I think it was Brilliant Idiots.
Oh, it wasn't where Migos released 21 songs, hoping 3 will be hits, and those are 3 that will get all the plays, all the streams. That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
Kanye released 7 songs and saying, "You're just gonna play this whole album 3 times in an hour."
Pretty much, and then get the streaming numbers up.
So Kanye's just playing the game. I feel like he's playing the game differently than releasing a whole bunch of songs. So 7 is still a solid blueprint.
Yeah, 7.
And it gives me enough to not. But
I feel like they said on Brilliant Idiots, 7 is perfect for a one-tone artist.
Yes, I agree.
Right, and again, it's not to say the artist is not capable of expanding,
variety.
But it's the lyricist, right? It's the Black Thought, it's the Nas, it's the Pusha T that can come out with 7 songs. It's all heat, it's all bars, it's all fire. And at the end of that 20 to 25 minute session, you're satisfied. Whereas with a Kanye project that has more interludes and more skits, a Cudi project which has different sounding tracks sonically, 7 might not be enough.
Yeah, because Cudi has so much variety.
Yeah,
Cudi has so much variety.
So when I think about like Cudi, like I don't know if Kids See Ghost is better than Cudi's last album.
I even taken Cudi's last album.
Right? Like, what was it called? I think it was like Passion, Pain, and
it disappointed me.
And Demon Slaying or some shit. What the fuck was it called? Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. Oh shit, I actually got that right. But like, I liked that project a lot.
I wasn't feeling that.
Right? So like, to me, if you're not even better than
your own,
or if you're not even objectively better than Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, which is nowhere near Man on the Moon.
Ooh, that's a hard album.
How can I rate this album like that?
No, I see what you're saying.
That's really like all it gets down to me for that. Like, but let's talk about some of the tracks on there, man. So Fire, I feel like was the most fire track for me. You said it was.
That's Feel the Love.
You said it was Reborn.
I like that track. That was my favorite track.
Free was on there, which is Ghost Town Part 2.
Free was
Call Me Harris Damas, because I called that in advance.
Yeah, you did say that.
That sounded like a Kids See Ghost track. It needed 070 Shake on it, though.
I don't know what you're going to do with her.
It needed 070 Shake on it.
So?
She's so dope. Are you kidding me? I feel like Free, or let's just call it Ghost Town Part 2. I feel like Ghost Town Part 2 was better than Ghost Town Part 1 because it had more content.
But I love
arguably
Shake on that.
But Shake is the X factor.
Shake on that.
070 Shake is the X factor.
And we were saying this before Brilliant Idiots, guys. We did say that Shake
we're starting beef with Brilliant Idiots?
No. We're not starting beef. I don't think that we're copying what they said.
That's true.
We said it last week before Brilliant Idiots episode aired that verse from Shake was hot. And what did Charlamagne say?
Well, he tweeted it anyway. So
there we go.
Check the timeline. Check the timeline at True North Views.
We know our shit, guys. We taking our music too.
That shit was missing 070 Shake, man. I was a little surprised. Pusha was on the first track.
Yeah, I heard that.
I thought you had a Nostradamus moment
when I said he's gonna diss everyone on every.
I was expecting a Drake bar in there. I was like,
maybe you changed that because of the whole Jay Prince thing?
That's a good question.
That's probably Kanye probably went up and was like, I know you had a bar set here. We were talking about Drake's mom. But
let's run with that for a second. So let's think about this, because I think you might be dead ass on this.
Damn
So
straight. I'm
Pusha's
in the
album
industry.
came out first.
See?
He took a shot at Drake.
See?
Kanye's album came out next.
See?
We know for a fact, and I think we're going to get into it later, that Kanye changed his whole album.
Yeah, that's so
Right?
Yes.
After the slavery comment.
Yeah.
He changed the entire album.
And Charlamagne even said himself.
Right? So there was probably a Pusha bar there too.
Or a Drake bar. Oh yeah, like a Pusha bar.
A Pusha verse, I mean.
Yeah.
About Drake. And then Kid See Ghost, maybe he changed the verse.
I could see that happening.
So Pusha is probably 3 for 3 with Drake bars on albums.
He's probably just saved on his computer now on his hard drive.
Yo, that's crazy.
When he's on a Nux song.
That's crazy. But let's talk about that Kanye thing. So what do you think about that? Kanye changed the entire album after the slavery MAGA hat bullshit that went on.
I don't know how to I don't want to say I don't know how to feel, but I don't know how to feel. It's like on one hand I'm happy, or it shows how much of an artist he is. Like he's able to create a whole album within a month or 2 months.
Right.
7 songs, a whole album. But it also pisses me off. It's like I want my artists to be
taking their time.
So yeah, months of writing, I want you to put effort and time into your work. Because I'm technically paying you by listening to your music.
Yes.
So give me my money's worth.
So I'm infuriated.
Yes, that's
by the album change. I'm completely infuriated, and the reason why. Now, when I say infuriated, guys, I know there's bigger problems in the world. I'm not losing sleep over this, but I'm saying with the landscape of music, I'm infuriated by this. When that Kanye album came out, I said to you, and I don't remember if we spoke about this on the mic or off the mic. I said to you, this album felt rushed.
It felt too relevant.
It felt too relevant, too rushed. You're throwing in the MAGA stuff, MAGA hat, make me slide like the drive through.
Episode 7?
That's a bar.
I think that was episode 6 we talked about.
But the point is that I knew immediately from hearing the first song and a half that the album was rushed. Now, at first, I'd asked myself, is this just what he had the whole time? And did it just sound like, has Kanye just lost a step? Now I'm saying to myself, okay, maybe he didn't lose a step, but now I can confirm that it was rushed. And what I was thinking and what I was feeling, I was correct about. Right? So I don't like that. I think the original album would have been a million times better.
You think it's because of the feedback he was getting from what he's been tweeting?
But like, what would the original album have talked about that could have been a problem?
I fucking voted for Donald Trump.
Okay, so he's providing more context as for his support to Donald Trump. That's going to get people mad, or that's going to get people to either agree or disagree with him. It's not going to make them mad. It's going to make them appreciate the fact that he's providing context to the bullshit he's doing.
Or it's going to get them disappointed that someone they look up to is clearly supported.
So he would rather keep it cryptic then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, obviously, because rather leave, if you don't know, like I'm still going to listen to Kanye, but if Kanye ever said, I rock with Trump 100%, he's done with me.
So why do you think he changed it then? Because okay, like we know the antics, the media stuff has something to do with it, obviously.
That's why I think he changed it. Because of media.
But like, why? Like, what's the deeper meaning? Is it because it was like, was he okay?
There might have some stuff on there that we don't even know.
So let's try to assume how he was thinking. Was he saying to himself, I gotta change this to take advantage? Or was he saying to himself, I gotta change this because my original stuff they're not gonna like?
You gotta change this because my original stuff they're either not gonna like or they're not gonna
So you feel like he wasn't necessarily strategic marketing?
No, I feel it
was more so like he just didn't want people to view him even more negatively than
they already were.
They already did, so he just decided to do no context at all.
That's how I feel he did.
That makes sense.
But we did talk about it. I said it. He said the MAGA hat, and he said slavery being a choice.
Yep.
And I was like, that's way, way too relevant for this album to have been done. Because he said the album was done before all those comments.
That's true.
And it was way too relevant for it to be done.
That's true.
Anyway, before we leave Pusha and good music, you hear about Lil Twist?
I don't even know who Lil Twist is. Is that the guy that was on fucking Lil Wayne's label back in the day?
Yeah. He had one song that somehow blew up.
Lil Twist. I feel like I heard the name.
I can't remember the song, but...
What was it, a track?
It came out with a track. I can't remember what it was called. And he had like 2 or 3 lines that Pusha... I didn't even write it down because it was honestly unimportant. And probably the only reason why that song got any plays was because of Push's name in it.
Yeah, definitely.
But you just kind of said just don't come.
No one's checking for that. The beef is done. Jay Prince already said it's over. Pusha said it's over. Kanye said it's over. Drake released a statement. Yeah, he removed blackface image from his SoundCloud. I don't know if he removed the song or not. I think the song may still be up, but the imagery is gone from his SoundCloud. I don't know what's going on Twitter. I don't know if he deleted tweets or what have you.
Instagram, someone got reported. His Instagram got reported.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, he said that he wrote.
He said that.
He wrote on his Instagram that the blackface got reported, so Instagram took it down.
Fair enough. So yeah, I mean that beef is done. So
that sucks. I thought that beef could go somewhere.
Finally done talking about that shit, man. I mean, yeah, I was looking forward to it for the sport, but I mean, we're in an era right now where you don't really know what'll happen, right? And Jay Prince, there are the Jay Princes of the world that recognize that.
You think Drake actually had a comeback for him? You think Drake had something to kill him? I don't think so either.
No. I think Drake had bars ready.
But nothing.
But I think Drake probably had equivalent to like a 16 ready. Or like maybe a full 32 verse.
To end Kanye's career? To end Pusha's career?
Not to end. I think Pusha he has nothing on. I think he had everything on Kanye. He was going to talk about probably his mother.
Ooh, if he did that though?
That's it. Like, Kanye I think that would have been the highlight of it. And what would that have done? That would have fucked up. First of all, that would have been terrible.
It would be bad luck for Drake.
Bad luck for Drake. Ruin his business. Ruin Adidas' business.
Yes.
Ruin his album sales. Like I said, his album is coming out in like 3 weeks or something. Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like so it's like, that would have fucked up the money.
Do you see Nicki's album cover? Sorry, we'll talk about this after. I just thought of it right now. I was going to write down and I totally forgot, and then I just thought of it.
And you can't fuck up the money at the end of the day. You can be as gangsta as you want. You can go for it for the sport as much as you want. But the moment it starts to impact the bottom line, that's when the OGs have to step in and be like, yo, you got to chill. But let's talk about Nicki.
Don't fuck up a check. But yeah, do you see that album cover?
I saw it. I didn't feel it.
I don't
generic.
Like, she's still selling her sexuality. That's how I see her as. Like, sell your bars, Nicki. Sell your bars. I'm still listening to Nicki for the bars. I don't care how Nicki looks.
But when did Nicki ever stop selling her body?
Well, I don't want her to... Like,
you don't want her to resort to that?
Yes, I want her to start selling... Like, give us your bars. We like Nicki because of bars. Nicki's monster. So. I like Nicki because of her bars.
I actually don't think Nicki's bars is what makes her. It's her presence. It's her ability to make a song. It's almost like Kanye in that sense, where it's like you appreciate the songs more than the bars. Nicki has bars. Don't get it twisted. Of course, you know that. I know that. Nicki has bars, but when you think about what was that track? Yo, what's her biggest track? Alive or whatever it's called?
No, that was the one with Drake. The one with Drake?
No, what's that one called? Na, 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 na.
Chun-Li?
Oh my god.
Like an old song?
Yeah, it's an old song.
I want this moment for life.
Yeah. Moment for life. Why did I say alive? I don't even know why.
Because Drake said something about being alive in that song.
Something, but that's her biggest track, arguably.
Okay.
Other than her monster verse, but
was her best verse.
But that's probably her biggest track. That's not bars.
It's not bars
necessarily. It's a great song. It sounds good on the ears. It's sonically great. It's produced well.
That's true.
There's a beginning, middle, end to it. She's using her different range of ability to put a good song together.
That's what we want
from Nicki. But that doesn't mean she has to stop being sexual about it. Look at Beyonce. To this
she doesn't
day,
have to be, but
to this day, Beyonce sells her sexuality.
But she's not. Look at the cover. Beyonce's not releasing a cover album like that, an album cover like that.
But she's looking like that at all of her shows, which gets the most showcasing on social media.
I don't know. It just feels different.
Right? Do you remember what Lemonade album cover looked like? Because I don't.
Yeah, she had like a shawl on or something. You could barely. It was like from her shoulders up. It wasn't.
This guy actually remembers.
I do remember. Shout out to the Beehive. They're rocking, y'all. I'm telling you.
Shit, man.
But I don't know. I feel like Nicki sells it too much, or tries to sell it too much. I'm just like, give us your songs. We don't like we like Cardi because Cardi looks good, but Cardi also gives us songs that we can bump to. Like that's what we want.
I think we'll get that. I think
she's not a model. Be a musician first, model second.
We'll get it. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's probably looking too much into the cover. I'll be honest.
Maybe it is.
I just think the cover looks just super generic, man. I just
want to support her.
I wanted a little bit more out of that. That shit looked like a Lion King live action and she's playing the fucking main character or some shit.
You think Baby's gonna pay her for this?
Baby's gonna pay her? I doubt it. Baby ain't paying no one in cash money.
Ooh, except Lil Wayne.
Except Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has to get paid now.
So in case you guys didn't hear, break the news for them. Break it for them.
Breaking news. It's not even breaking, but let's break the news to them. So Lil Wayne reaches a settlement in a lawsuit against Birdman and Cash Money.
Let's go.
Universal's also involved in this as well.
Let's get it.
So the settlement reportedly is worth quote unquote well over 10 million.
Jeez.
That number we don't know for sure, but let's assume it's around 10 million at the very least.
Let's call it 10 million.
Yes, it's called 10 million. So here's the interesting thing. So in 2015, Lil Wayne sued the record label for 51 million, and he was claiming that the record label had violated their terms and conditions, and they withheld a ton of money from him during the Carter 5. Okay. Right? So I'll read a little excerpt from it. So just to kind of provide more context for those that are listening. According to court documents obtained by The Blast, which is the news article source, Lil Wayne's attorney, Howard King, filed a notice with the court on May 23rd that all sides are ready to dismiss the lawsuit. Our sources say Universal wrote a big check to settle the suit, and none of the money came from Birdman. Oh, that's interesting.
How did Birdman get away with this shit?
As for the amount, we're told it's quote-unquote well over 10 million. We are told that Universal was comfortable with the massive payments because they believe that they will recoup the profits from Drake and Nicki Minaj going forward, a major part of what Wayne was suing over in the first place. As part of the arrangement, Lil Wayne is now officially done with Cash Money, and the infamous Carter 5 album will now be put out by Universal. What do you think?
Carter 5 should go back in the closet, never come on and issue Carter 6. I'll tell you why.
Okay, let's hear
When was Carter 5 done?
I don't know, 2014? When was it done?
No, it was done like in 2012, 2011.
Goddamn, time flies.
That's when time has changed. And someone brought this to me. Someone
Did you hear
actually
a snippet? Did you hear that snippet?
No.
I heard a snippet, I think, of like Lil Wayne. I don't know if it was a confirmed
Did it
track
sound
on
good?
Carter 5. It sounded decent. But it almost sounded like
old?
It was the borderline between old and very good. Like it's hard to tell.
So that's what someone said. Someone told me like 2011, Carter 5 would have probably been an album. 2018, we have people that make different kind of music that everyone bumps.
But then, do we want that everyone bumps that type of? Because
we don't.
Think about Pusha's album. Let's go back to Pusha for a second. The reason why his album sounds so good is because it's not anything close to what we're hearing.
But it was produced with today's mindset in mind. Like it was produced.
Right. I get it.
With a 2017, 2018 mindset, not a 2011.
I get it, yeah.
Now let's not use these type of beats. Let's use this type of beats. So someone just said like it's not going to suck. It's not going to be right for the time.
That makes sense.
If Drake was to drop his first album now, it won't fit the time right now. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Just go put that in the shelf, release it little by little, and say it's come off Carter 5, and just.
But then again, he can always go back to the studio
But that's what we want. I want to go back to the studio, re-record.
But I'm not saying re-record because, again,
I want new music.
I'm just gonna constantly use the Pusha reference because, again, like we're pretty well informed and it's relevant right now. On the Breakfast Club, Pusha Ton had said he already has the verses ready. It's up to Kanye to get the beats together, the mastering together. Did I say beats or bars? Sorry.
Beats.
For Pusha.
Yeah, he has bars.
He has the bars ready. I don't know. He has the bars ready, but Kanye has to apply everything else to it. So my point is this: the lyrics don't necessarily get old. Lil Wayne's lyrics can still be very relevant. Now he can update some of them.
Oh no, that was it. It's just there's probably going to be some things he's going to say.
There's still going to be some updating,
like
but more importantly. You can go back to the lab and remaster and change beats.
That's
and
what I need him to
apply new samples.
That's what I need him to do.
And I'm sure that's what will happen.
Okay, that's my only issue about the Carter 5 being released. If he was to release it the way it is right
absolutely.
now,
and that I agree with.
Please don't keep that in the vault. Let's update it.
I completely agree.
Let's update Carter 5.
So is this a W for Lil Wayne? Is this a L for Lil Wayne? Is this both?
It's a W. We started finally get Lil Wayne music. The only part that a lot of people don't know about Lil. Like these kids don't know about Lil Wayne.
Right? Like
He's lost that buzz. He's lost the Lil Wayne buzz.
Lil Wayne at one point
Was the hardest.
For those that aren't aware, Lil Wayne was considered the greatest rapper alive at one point.
Yeah. Imagine Drake right now. That was Lil Wayne in the late 2000s.
Like I said last week,
late 2000s.
Drake used to be the third most important person on that label. Mm-hmm. First was who? Lil Wayne.
He was big, guys. He was
now,
big.
and I'm gonna say that statement again. Lil Wayne was the biggest name on that label. Think about how big Nicki Minaj was. Think about how big Drake was, even though he wasn't big yet.
Let's go to the
Lil
beach.
Wayne was bigger than all of them. So let's not forget Lil Wayne's pedigree, track record, history, impact on the game.
Definitely.
How many artists today are inspired by Lil Wayne? At the very least, with how they look physically.
I was like, he was one of the first to start rocking like,
leather,
skinnier jeans.
My leather's so
tighter
soft.
Shirts.
My leather's so soft. Yo, that track grew on me. I used to hate that track when it first came out.
Really?
But then it was like number one on 106 in Park. I think they retired the video. And that shit ended up growing on me. I'm like, yo, why do I like leather so soft?
Leather so soft.
But whatever. It is what it is, man. What else do we want to talk about in terms of music? Did you see that Rich the Kid shit? What's his name? Not the song. Uzi Vert pulled up on Rich the Kid.
Okay, see, so here's the thing. I just don't keep up with these kids and their pull-up thing because I heard about the whole Tekashi one where Tekashi was in New York,
Chicago,
then he went to LA,
or some shit.
So I don't keep up with these kids because all these beefs in my head are just for.
Yo, I think I'm officially tired of all this beef.
So run me through this. What happened here?
Well, to be fair, I don't really know.
I don't think anybody does.
But like,
I'm not 16.
But like I saw a little bit. Like I saw the videos that were going on Instagram at the time. Those. So basically, Uzi Vert pulled up to Rich the Kid. Rich the Kid had his crew. Mm-hmm. Uzi Vert was kind of more or less not alone, but at the time when he was like, so like, what up? Like, are we gonna square up? Like, how much shit talking has been going on back and forth? And Uzi's the kind of guy that seemingly kind of stays to himself. He doesn't really do the 100% clout things that like a Tekashi 6ix9ine does.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Tekashi's banned from Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe any of that fucking
but
shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I do this beef stuff, because it's just so much nonsense. They're all just talking out of their ass. Clout chasing.
I'm not going to necessarily ask, is the beef real or not? What I am going to ask is Uzi joining the quote-unquote clout club? And I hate using that reference. I hate the term clout, the way that people use it today. But
so
just to get people to understand what I'm trying to say, I'm going to use it. Is Uzi joining the clout club where we know there's tension between him and Rich the Kid?
Yeah.
Whether it's fake or not, we know there is tension there.
Yeah.
Think about All My Friends Are Dead. Or all the shit that Rich the Kid was doing, which ended up being for a music video that came out well after the song came out, which was already played out at the time. That guy's an idiot. Someone needs to talk to him about how to market properly. Rich the Kid, holla at me. But Uzi has been talked about an album release for a long time now.
Where is Uzi's album?
I can't wait till it comes out.
It's just touring. That's all I see him doing.
So is Uzi doing this to prep his album release? Specifically?
I want to say...
Or is this just, I finally caught Rich the Kid, let me pull up on him because I want to show him a tough guy?
I want to say I finally caught Rich the Kid just because Uzi is big. Mm-hmm. Uzi's huge.
He has the name already.
He's bigger than Rich the Kid. Let's not be...
way bigger.
Exactly. Just...
Not even close.
He's on a different level from Rich the Kid. It's like Drake and, like, I don't know, some next guy. It's just like... It gets to a point where you're probably just like, okay, this guy talks too much shit, let me pull up in his face. I think the beef is real.
So you don't think it's necessarily
clout chasing? No.
You don't think a Uzi album's coming out by the end of the month?
No, but...
Hold on, let's talk about releases for a second. Don't you feel like every new music artist has disappeared during the month of June?
Well, yeah, because they can't compete with anything that's
happening. They can't compete with real music.
Obviously.
Shout out to real music, man. We're still alive. Real music is alive.
You guys see that? Do you see the Diddy interview?
No.
So what Diddy said was, and I agree with Diddy.
What Diddy said? What the fuck is that? What's wrong with your grammar?
What Diddy said?
What did he said? What did he say?
What Diddy said in the interview.
What Diddy said.
Yes. What Diddy, D-I-D-D-Y.
Am I off Henny? What the fuck? Holy shit. Okay.
What Sean Diddy Combs?
What Sean Combs said was, I thought you were trying to say, what did he say?
He said music is changing.
Yes.
And he's like, we've got to appreciate these new guys. Now he said something that I've always said. Mm-hmm. There's way too many of them, and we don't need all of them.
Right.
But there are some that are good. Like he said, he dropped 3 names. He said Yachty, Uzi, and Migos.
Yes.
Who I've said, yes, these are people like...
And Migos has bars, low key.
Yeah, they do. And
I've been saying Yachty's one of the leaders of the new school.
You've been saying that. He's starting to creep up there for me.
He's starting to creep up. It's going to take some time.
His album didn't do it. Like his first album didn't do it.
Yeah,
the
you're
Teenage
right.
Emotions, it just didn't do it.
Teenage Emotions was trash.
But his mixtape was kind of fire.
What was it, Boat 2? What did it call?
Yeah, Lil Boat 2.
Yeah, that one was pretty dope.
And so I agree with Diddy, where it's like, we just got to appreciate that music is changing. Mm-hmm. We're going from bars to...
But on that same token, it's not necessarily to say the new age of hip hop is all trash, because of course it's not. But I'm saying like there's seemingly substance in music again right now.
I see what you're saying. Like, there's more context.
We can still be in today's time with a Ye, with a infrared, with a Kitsy Ghost, with a Daytona, with a KOD. We can still be in today's time, sound wise, sonically, how the songs are put together, even to some degree, the length of the songs.
No Ye track is going to be popping in an album, in a club, sorry. You're not going to hear a Ye track in a club. And I don't
know, man. I think that Yikes track might.
Okay, maybe one track, but how many Uzi tracks are going to be pumping in the club? His whole album is.
I'm still bumping Love Is Rage, bro.
You know that, but that's what I mean. Like, Ye.
Yo, where is it that it said? Fucking Love Is Rage, LUV, stands for Lil Uzi Vert instead of love?
Yes.
Yo, that was
Someone told me that.
That's like when I found out Santa wasn't real, bro.
Yeah, I had to sit down and...
I had to really pause for a moment, like, yo.
Love Is Rage.
Lil Uzi Vert, LUV. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it happens. But back to what Diddy said, I agree with him. Music is changing. We have to appreciate it.
Yep.
Now, we don't need all of them. We just need to listen to... And that's what's going to happen in the next few years. Watch. All these rappers that made it are just going to start crumbling because... Yep. Why would I listen to Lil Xans when I can listen to Lil Uzi?
Lil Xans, see you later.
Like, why Lil Uzi does everything you do.
Lil Skies, see you later.
Lil Skies has a huge following.
Lil Maddox.
Who the hell is Lil Maddox?
See you later. Isn't that fucking
that white kid from
white
Chicago? Kid? Yes. See, people like him, like, no, they're not going to make it. They just made it off one song.
Pretty much. And they're going to fade to black.
That's what Diddy was saying, was just, we've got to respect it. Let's not call the music trash. Let's appreciate it for what it is.
But I feel like that initial opinion is sort of gone. I don't think people are automatically calling it trash nowadays. Like, you're not even really hearing the term mumble rap anymore.
Because the people that did mumble are falling out. Like, now we're like...
But that's my point, right? So the early adopters have almost all fell off.
Oh, yeah.
And the ones that were actually putting some substance to their shit,
Uzi
has substance.
Uzi has a talent.
Lil Boat has substance in what he's saying.
Migos have
a
wicked flow. Migos may not say anything of context, but
they actually do though.
No, they're
maybe not
protect my
maybe not context.
Really?
Like maybe not
like content. Like it's not life changing.
Yeah, maybe it's not life changing content, but it's still good bars.
Yeah, that's like, and their flow.
Like if you read their lyrics, it'll be like, yo, they're pretty dope.
Yeah, I do agree.
In addition to how great their flow is,
I think their flow.
And it's each of them in their own
way.
In their own way, right? I still think a fucking Huncho. I still think Huncho's the best.
I think Takeoff is crazy. I think Takeoff came out of nowhere. And
I think it's popular to like Takeoff the most because he's supposed to be the most underrated. But it's Huncho, man. Huncho's the Beyonce of the group. We know that.
Who I'm rocking with recently?
Who?
What's this kid's name? Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Never.
He sounds exactly like Post Malone. A lot like Post Malone. Let me say exactly. But he sounds a lot like Post Malone.
He dropped a new project.
He just dropped an album in March, but it is bumping.
Okay.
He had one song, Lucid Dreams, that went crazy, and it is bumping.
Oh
my god!
That track,
you probably have. It's on a lot of playlists.
Probably. But yeah. Let's talk about some other new music that came out, man. So I'm in my R&B bag right now, man.
R&B.
2 dope R&B projects came out the same time as Kids See Ghosts. There was that new Neo. Good man. Neo is still around, man. Yo, these R&B guys, they know how to disappear and still release music regularly. That makes no sense to me.
Was the album good?
How the fuck was anyone checking for Neo?
No one was. I think it came out it was almost near the bottom of my new music.
Holy fuck. But so the album is called Good Man. Is it a good album? The first time I listened to it,
that sigh of
Mans can't even sigh no more because of Drake. But sigh. The first time I listened to it, the first 2 or 3 songs were just not hitting for me at all.
Was it like old Neo,
So
Neo, like a different kind of Neo? Is it because we haven't heard Neo since 2005? Let's be honest, what's the last song you heard?
You're
Neo?
not okay. That's a great question. If you listen to the entire album, you haven't missed much from Neo.
Okay.
I feel like he literally just took like the most popular topics of conversation and decided to make a song about it.
Like every artist.
Overall it's a good album. Overall it's okay, I should say. It's 20 songs, but it did feel like the longest 20-song album I've ever heard.
Is this because of Kanye?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it because I'm so used to 25-minute albums at this point for the last 3 weeks that now a 20-album track is just too much? Sorry, a 20-track album is just too much. That I don't know. But what I will say is this. If Neo, because I feel like there was a ton of throwaway tracks on there. If Neo took, I was going to say Migos for a second. If Neo took
Migos go with 21
the
tracks.
10 best songs on this album, Good Man, and released it as the album Good Man, it would be a very good album. So I'll put it that way. There's a lot of very good songs on there, but I feel like it's just a little too much. And I feel like it could have been refined a little bit better. That's what I'll say with the Neo song, or with the Neo album.
I didn't even give it a shot. Let's be honest. I did. I saw it.
Hey man, sometimes you got to get your R&B back. Yo, shout out to fucking Joe Budden Podcast, man. Every time they play, so they have a segment called their Sleepers. At the end of their podcast, they will play a song, of course, that's either an unknown artist or it may be one of their boys, or whatever, right? They want to highlight a track, essentially.
Can I send them my track?
And they play a lot of R&B. And it's kind of unexpected because it's Joe Budden, and you know his hip hop pedigree and his history. Rap. And you think of Maul, and you think of his brother Kareem Biggs, Rockefeller. Jay-Z, Dame Dash.
You Rockefellers.
He has that. Maul himself has that swag to him, like he only bums hip hop. He has that swag to him, and that's no disrespect. But they play a lot of R&B, so it put me on R&B a little bit, or put me back onto the R&B scene to be like, let me check for some R&B music, what's going on. On that same note, what is fire, and what I do think was the best release of Friday fucking June 8th, I think the best release was that new Georgia Smith.
Oh, that's George? I thought it was Jorge.
Jorge, oh my God.
I don't know who that is. I could have thought that was Jorge.
Georgia Smith, guys. So, yo, I don't even know where she's from. I don't think she's American. I think she's probably like a UK artist or something. I could be wrong. Please don't shoot me on that. But Georgia Smith, Jorja Smith. The album is called Lost and Found. Listen, man, it's quality.
She's from England.
It's quality. I have no words for it, man. It's quality. She's from England.
She's only 20 years old.
Enough said. She's solid. Just great. Just a really good album.
I'll give it a shot. Any features on that?
I don't know. No features.
No Skepta?
Just her.
No Grand Boys?
Nope. She don't need it. She's fire. She's so dope, man. She's like, it's funny. I was listening to it and I kind of said to myself as I was driving, if Tinashe's camp knew how to advertise her.
No, Tinashe sucks.
And I say it from music, like she shouldn't be making pop music.
She shouldn't.
She should be making slower R&B music, firstly. And that's what Georgia Smith is doing. She's making great R&B music. She's not trying to ride a pop wave of, say, a Dua Lipa. Now, Dua Lipa is nice. That's another UK artist on the pop scene.
Oh, she has one song that's like that's charting heavily right now.
I think it's I don't give a F. I think IDGAF.
Easy.
Oh my God, are we pulling a Joe Budden podcast right now with the fucking Ariana Grande?
It's rain.
But she's not going the Dua Lipa route where it's just pop, pop, pop. Work with Calvin Harris, work with Major Lazer, all them type of people. Mm-hmm. She's giving you real substance, real R&B. And it's great music. So all of you guys give that a listen. It's called Lost and Found by Georgia Smith.
I'll listen to that.
Fire. That album, off of first listen, gets an 8 out of 10 for me.
Listen to Juice WRLD too.
Let's go backwards for a second.
Listen to Juice
Neo's
WRLD.
album, Juice WRLD. No, I never.
I love Juice WRLD. I'm just saying, out there, listen to Juice WRLD.
So quick rate. Let's just give some quick numbers then. So your Juice WRLD, how would you rate that?
Oh, his album 9 out of 10. Come on, that album has you in your feels.
Wow.
It talks about two things: heartbreak and drugs. But trust me, just listen to it. If you like Posey's album,
9.
Literally, if you like Posey's album,
okay. So Beer Bongs and Bentley for me, minus the fact that every song sounded the same and it was one long song, it was a solid album.
But that's what I'm saying.
Are you saying it's better or worse than Beer Bongs?
It's
like
it's right under Beer Bong. Like
wow,
he sounds, honestly, in some songs he does sound like Post Malone. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So he does do that singing, rapping thing.
I rate that.
And it's really good. I've been bumping it the last few days.
I'll take a look at that.
And
Neo, Good Man, I don't have a rating.
who cares?
Kids See Ghosts, we didn't rate that.
Honestly, can I just say it's too soon? Give me next week. Let me get more plays on it.
It's fair to say too soon.
Let me get more plays on it. Because honestly, with all the Kanye, I've been so saturated. Even Ye, I haven't listened to Ye since last week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, last week.
I only listened to 070 Shake's verse every morning.
I want to go back
but
to listen
other
to
than
Ye.
that verse every morning, the only album that's on repeat from Ye's releases is Daytona.
What would you rate Kids See Ghost?
I don't have a rating yet either.
Yeah.
I've only bumped it twice. It's not catching for me. It's not. I don't feel inclined.
I have the 3 songs I go to, and that's about it. To be honest,
that's it. I don't feel inclined to listen about it.
I played the whole album twice. I played probably 3 songs like twice.
Let's see what happens. So whose album's coming out next?
Isn't it Nas?
Is it Nas?
Yeah, Surgical Summer.
Nas then Tiana. That's it.
I know Tiana's was last. I think there's only one.
Tiana's album's supposed to be stupid fire.
Is that according to?
I think Joe Budden played a snippet.
How did he get one? Damn.
Oh my!
Shout out to Joe.
Goodness, my good. I'm gonna play that for you. Off the air, off the mic.
We don't want to get
We don't want to, want those violations.
Exactly.
But let's leave it at that, man.
Actually, sorry. Before we do it, World Cup's coming up.
World Cup.
I'm Nigerian.
Predictions.
Nigeria's in that shit.
Oh, Nigeria. They have a team, no? They have a solid team.
Yeah. We're probably not going to win though. Just better teams. I have Brazil winning the whole thing, but
I don't even know. I don't follow
everyone
that shit, man.
that plays soccer, watches soccer. World Cup's coming up.
But let's
all come together this one time.
Let's salute the city of Toronto. Always puts on a very good World Cup show, and what I mean by that is
we're not doing shit for the World Cup.
What I mean by that is everyone rocks out, man. Everyone's outside. It's summer. The weather's nice. Everyone has their respective flags on their cars or on their whatever at their house, hanging from their balcony on their building. It's always nice to see the city lit up like that, man. So shout out to that. Toronto has their little hot pockets too. Little Italy is popping at that time. Little
Italy's
Portugal.
not in the World Cup this year.
Oh yeah, they're not in the World Cup this year. That's a good point.
They mad.
Oh shit. So what do you think? Another country's fans is just gonna come and shit on Little Italy in Toronto?
Portugal.
But they already have Little Portugal here.
Oh, but they're gonna take over there as well. Portugal.
Oh, that's deadly. God damn. I guess. I guess.
Trust me, Woodbridge is quiet. Woodbridge is quiet. It's quiet for y'all.
Woodbridge is quiet.
Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Let's all enjoy the
Starbucks,
World
man.
Cup.
Starbucks raised their prices.
Episode 2, 3,
What episode was it?
where we talked about Starbucks making their washroom public, and you said how would they combat this? I'm like, they're just going to increase the price of coffee, and
That's
exactly what they did. They only took them a few more weeks.
That's it.
They did it.
And what are they going to try to do? They're always going to try to blame it on inflation, the economy, competitors, etc. It's all collusion. It's all bullshit. Let's leave it there, though, man. Of course, we do want to end off on some crazy Canadian shit. Now, again, we don't have specific stories, only because I do want to provide a follow-up on the election. So again, June 7th was the Ontario election. Didn't really go the way it was kind of supposed to some degree.
Literally, polls don't mean shit anymore. After the Trump election, this.
I don't think it's that. So I think it's two things, right? So you look at the popular vote and then you look at the actual vote, right? So essentially what happened in the election now, I didn't check the final numbers, but I checked at like 10 p.m. on election night. But I know some of the ridings were closing late at like 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. I think one of them closed at 1 a.m. So it may have changed the final numbers slightly. But in terms of the popular vote, the Progressive Conservatives got 41%. The New Democratic Party got 37%, if I'm not mistaken. Horvath, not Hogwarts.
Why did I call it Hogwarts? I got Hogwarts from somewhere.
The Liberals got the rest, right? They basically did so trash. So
how about the Green Party?
Oh,
I'm just fucking with y'all.
So
about the Green Party.
Again, a lot of people thought the New Democratic Party was going to win. That's again the NDP, and they didn't. The Conservative government won a majority government. Kind of unexpected, but also not really. Mm-hmm. Because again, when the people are talking, that represents only the popular vote.
Pretty much.
And the NDP got 37% of the popular vote. And the Conservatives got 41%. So clearly it showed what the people were thinking in terms of NDP. But in terms of the seats that really matter, the Conservatives won. How do I feel about it? It's not a political show. So we'll leave it at that. Straight the fuck up. Go listen to another podcast or watch the news or listen to CBC if you wanna get on.
It's a non-Canadian. Just go on cp24.com.
Whatever, man. But yeah, man. Let's leave it there. We're really trying to cut this time back on you guys. We gave you guys almost 2 hours last week, and we appreciate you rocking with us for that long. This week we're all basically at 1:40. But like I said, man, we're really trying to bring it back down to that 90-minute mark, maybe even slightly less. We do want to respect your guys' time as usual. And for those that are still listening, we're all the way at the end, man. So we appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Please
thank you.
Spread the word. Share with your family, your friends. Press play twice on SoundCloud.
4 times.
Fucking rate. Yo, did you see our what do you call it? Our iTunes rating?
How many do we have?
Yo, we have 10 ratings.
10 ratings? Last time I checked it was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, we have 10 ratings, and it's a 5 out of 5.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go, man.
We're making moves out here. Money moves only.
Jeez.
I don't got to dance no more, like Cardi said.
Dance now. I mean, money move. Money move. But as usual, guys, this brings you to the end of another episode of the True North Views podcast.
Yo, you just heard Bear Man's talking, so continue this conversation by telling a friend to tell 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 a friend.
As usual, guys.
6 degrees.
6 degrees. 6 degrees of separation, man. It's that simple.
Easy.
Tell a friend, spread the word. That's how we're operating, man. We really want fans that fuck with us.
Yes.
We don't just want fans that will press likes.
I don't want fair weather.
We want ones that are fair weather. That's I guess that's how I was trying to describe it. We don't want. That's a great. Let's use that wording. We don't want fair weather fans. We want fans that are really gonna fuck with us, really interact with us. Comment on our shit. Tell us where we can do better. Tell us what segments you like. Tell us what segments you don't like.
Yes.
And really, let's make this a community project, man. Let's really grow together and shine together. And shout out to the day ones. We really appreciate it. But yeah, as usual, man, I go by the name of Harris.
You can call me JustShola.
Just stay safe, guys. Remember that number one rule in life.
Watch out for the wastemans.
Watch out for the wastemans. It's TMV, True North Views Podcast. It's episode 7.
777.
Let's get it.